Shalom.
Shalom.
Check the shit down. Rudy. Probably nobody good. I just have to catch some people. So, yeah. It's kind of like you check just in case.
Yes.
Sometimes you got here talking out of the way. Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
Want to give all praises to Yahweh, by Shem, Yahweh Shai, by Shem Kadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, and well. Peace and many salutations to y'all down that's toiling in this truth. We are a branch of GMS Dallas. We're doing the work on Sunday to uplift the name of our Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh, which means He is, or to be He is, or He exists. By Hashem in the name, Yahweh Shai, who word English called Jesus. His name is Yahweh Shai. It's translated to Joshua, which means He's delivered. And He's here, and Yahweh Shai died for us, for the nation of Israel, right? So that we can be saved and ultimately be set up as the new rulers of this world, man. The kingdom of heaven will be established through our toiling and coming out here on the highways and byways and being persistent. Okay? Now within our jobs of being persistent, we are here to prescribe to you all what's going on biblically speaking. You know, the things that you see in the contemporary news, we're here to diagnose what's going on by these scriptures and tell you why they're happening. Because if there's a Most High, if there is a God, you got to ask yourself, why is there so much chaos? Why is there so much turmoil on the planet Earth? But we're here to give you a reason why. A huge component of that reason is because the son of perdition is ruling the earth. Okay? Who the Bible calls Esau Edom. You got, what you got?
2 Ezra 9, Jeremiah 28.
Okay, real quickly, 2 Ezra 6 and 9. Now Esau Edom was set up to rule with the sword. That was his blessing. Esau was the son of Isaac. His twin brother was Jacob. Jacob received the blessing of Isaac. And conversely, Esau Edom received another blessing, and that blessing was with the sword. See, Jacob was to rule with the spear of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. But Esau Edom was prescribed to rule with their sword. And that sword embodies a lot. You know what I'm saying? Weaponry, the certain rhetoric that's used to rationalize violence, treachery. All these things are part of warfare. And we see the ruler of this world, utilizing these things. And this is how we know that this man that's ruling is Esau Edom. Okay? It's Esau Edom that is ruling. Go ahead, my brother.
God. This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
So Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Now look at the plight of the world. The word plight means a sad case. The world is dying before our eyes. The people are in a very full, in a very destitute spiritual state. Well, why is that? Because the person that is ruling is one that is contrary to the will of the Heavenly Father of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Right? And this man is set up over ultimately the nation of Israel as a whooping stick because we committed apostasy, meaning that we renounced our ways generations ago. We renounced our ways, renounced our Heavenly Father, and began to follow after these various idols. And in doing so, right, we fell away from our law, statutes, commandments, and the Most High put the curses on us, man. Right? And within us being at a low state, despite the fact we're supposed to rule, he allowed these other nations to rule this world, and these other nations have ruled with decadence. And we're seeing, the man of sin rule this world in a complete decadence and a complete disarray. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
If I can add some point, because Christianity, when Christianity, modern plantation Christianity goes into, like the example that Zaquan is bringing out, 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, they think it's talking about one individual person,
right?
But it's talking about a nation of people. As we read in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, it says Esau shall be the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Now, the prophet Ezra was well after that time period of Isaac, the actual account that you read in Genesis, Isaac, Jacob, and Esau. So why are these two individuals, Jacob and Esau, spoken about so much throughout the scriptures? Because these are the protagonists and the antagonists of the Bible. Jacob being those that are of that righteous lineage, those of the patriarch Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Esau being of, well, pretty much the same stock, but he's pretty much our evil twin brother, man.
That's right.
He's of the opposite spectrum, if you will.
That's right.
He's on the other side, okay? But it was set forth for that nation of people to be ruling in the latter days, and through identifying scriptures, you're able to mark who that individual is, right? Which we know today to be the self-proclaimed so-called white man.
That's right.
Starting with the elite banking families, those that own the different, those that have control over the IMF, right? The World Economic Forum, these different institutions which pretty much govern the society and the earth today.
That's right. I got something for you, brother. We're going into Esau, Edom. Now, it's very important. Now, I know you brothers out there. I see your comments, and I'm familiar with a lot of y'all's pages. A lot of you brothers go out by yourselves. A lot of you guys are well versed. I know you guys know this, right? But it's for the masses. It's very important that we're going over these basics. Because these basics give you an understanding of, on a superficial level, of why these things are happening, and also the nature of the Most High. You see, the Most High, He creates good and He creates evil, right? And that's manifest in people. Okay, so with the creation of Esau, Edom, to be basically contrary to life, that is the Most High's way of putting the balance on the earth. And also teaching us a lesson of how not to rule a nation, how not to rule the world. Okay, this is why Esau Edom has been put in place. Okay, but not to go too deep. This is Genesis 25 and 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her. You know what? Let me start up. Because this is going to give you an understanding of why we keep on saying that Esau is antagonistic to Jacob, or to the nation of Israel. Genesis 25 and 24. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren.
Right. She pretty much couldn't produce. She wasn't able to. The egg pretty much wasn't able to get fertilized by the seed, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
And Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
Right. So through the grace of the Lord, Isaac prayed unto Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, Baba Kushai, Lord, if it be of your will, if it's possible, allow my wife Rebecca to get pregnant. And through the grace of the Lord, that happened. But Rebecca asked, if it be so, why am I thus? Because the two children, which will be later known as Jacob and Esau, were pretty much going at it in the womb, man. And that's a representation of the friction that was to come, because that's when you go into a movie, like we mentioned the terms protagonist and antagonist. That's what they do. They bump heads. Those are for a particular cause of righteousness, right, and then those are on the opposite spectrum for a particular cause of wickedness and forwarding their own agenda.
Beautifully put. That was beautifully put. How he said it. See, Jacob was set up to be was protagonistic to the law, statute, commandments, and Esau, Edom, he was set up to be antagonistic to, right? And we understand characteristics of the descendants of Esau and Edom by going over these basics. Because when Esau Edom was famous because he was out in the field hunting, what happened? He just sold his birthright. But that just shows you how impulsive, the forefather of Esau Edom is, in that mindset of being impulsive, of being carnal, is pervasive today in the structure of Esau Edom. Look how he rules with capitalism. It's very impulsive, right? So this man from the beginning has been antagonistic to Jacob, okay? But I'm gonna keep reading. It's like it. Verse 22, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb.
Boom. So although they were in the same room together, these are two different nations of people, man. And this shows you that the Lord can do whatever he wants. The Lord's not bound to the technicalities of what people deem, physics or actual, science or whatever the case may be. The Lord is far above that, man. You see?
And Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from the bowels. Two manner, meaning they gonna have different idiosyncrasies, different attributes. Like say for instance, when you go to I know that in the early '90s, in the '90s, when you watch Def Jam and they would make fun of white people, and a lot of the jokes would be how the mannerisms of Jake is different from the mannerisms of Esau Edom. You know what I'm saying? Even in jokes nowadays, man, that's pervasive. Why is that? Because there's a clear difference in the two people. Two different nations, two different spirits, man. Okay? Back to it. I'm sorry.
Well, no, go ahead, say it. Well, pretty much, I was just thinking. Wasn't necessarily going to say it, but I was just thinking. Jake is the salt of the earth, as the scripture says. Jake got the salt. Jake got the swag. Jake got the particular walk. You know what I'm saying? Denzel, you got that Denzel walk.
Yeah.
But Esau, he have a different manner of person.
Yeah, he tries to duplicate it, but he did. Like, say for instance, the brother Zariala of our camp had posted a video of Vanilla Ice dancing, and you could tell that he just didn't have the salt. He had all the dance steps, but he had a salt, man.
You can choreograph all you want.
Yeah, choreograph all you want to. You can tell he was probably, counting in his mind 1, 2, and a 3. You know what I'm saying? But Jacob makes something out to fly. And Esau Edom has always tried to harness or to capture that salt. That's why at the forefront of all these agendas, really the face is the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. Because they know if they get Jake to do it, then the other nations will.
That's right.
Okay? Back to it though. Genesis 25 and 23. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people. And the elder shall serve the younger.
So essentially, because how it's really supposed to go is that the firstborn will be the one that gets, you know, the birthright and everything like that. Which Esau he essentially did receive that. First, he did have the birthright. But when you continue reading in the, you know, this book and the following book of Genesis, it goes into how he gave that birthright up for a morsel of meat.
That's right.
You know? That's right.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau.
Adawam, which means red.
That's right. That's right, because his pigmentation was red. If you look at Esau, Edom, they're not white. Right. That's a byword in a proverb that they gave themselves to uplift themselves as a superior race. They are, in fact, a shade of red, pinkish. Right. There you go.
Right there.
The pinkish.
Red hair, yeah.
Red head.
Looking like a chicken breast.
Yeah.
You know, got that pink undertone.
Yep. Yep. That's it.
It's like the blood showing forth through the skin because they don't have melanin.
Yep.
You know, which it's deeper than that. You can have brothers that are, you know, of the stock of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob today. Yeah. Because we've been scattered, they can look that particular way, but it's just going into the history. You know, because that's essentially that was the mark of Cain. Right. That was the mark of Cain, leprosy, not having that pigmentation. Because all nations at one point in time were dark skinned. You know. But over a dispensation of time, mingling with this devil and being in his, you know, working these office jobs, being inside all the time and shit like that, like over time, we lost our pigmentation.
Yep, lost it. We lost it.
But it's a beautiful story because it shows you that's the foundation. That's the foundation of what leads us to where we're at today. Where essentially you have, again, that protagonist Jacob and the antagonist Esau battling out here. But see, Esau has always overcome us via the flesh because he's a man of the field. That's right. His weaponry, that was his blessing, the sword. But here in the latter days, the Lord said that he was going to raise up his men through the Spirit. That's right. It's going to be through the Spirit. It's going to be through the Comforter coming down and supping with us. Right? That's right. So that essentially is how we're going to be able to get through this. And ultimately, it's the blood of Yahweh covers us, but he's going to come down with wrath. And we're seeing the beginning signs of him starting to bring forth those particular agendas to have it so.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Now, verse 25, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. Now remember what we just read in 2nd Ezra 69. Right? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So that animosity is going to be seen even in the latter days. Contrary to what guys like vocab Malone likes to say, what the things that vocab Malone like to say, Dr. Brown that says, you know, it's preposterous to say that, you know, Esau Edom is, you know, here in the latter days and things of that nature. No. They are, in fact, here. Right? And I'm sorry.
Because I was just thinking how that's how they kind of can get away with saying that the Apocrypha is non-canon. Pretty much they say that it's not enough documentation, it's not enough evidence to support it, but there's plenty of accounts within the Apocrypha that go to show, like, the dedication, right? You know what I'm saying? There's many accounts. Like, it even talks about historical figures like Alexander the Greek, right? Antiochus Epiphanes. It goes into the Seleucid, you know, that dynasty, so on and so forth. That's right. So they you know, it started with BGD, Bible Destruction Group, or BDG. You know, that's how pretty much they can get away with saying, see, it's the Apocrypha is non-canon. They try to do away with some of the scriptures, and that's how they can try to walk their way around 2nd Ezra 6 and 9.
That's right. and it's very interesting how they like to say, they like to categorize things as non-canon and canon. When during slavery, you gave us a Bible that was basically manipulated, right? For your advantage, for your Adumian supremacy. So why should we, consider or to even, say that what you say telling us is valid? Because obviously you have an agenda, and that agenda is to continue, Adumian or white supremacy. Okay. All right. Back to it though. Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field.
We even still see that in his, those are spiritual markers today. That's a spiritual marker today for the nation of Edom, so-called white people. They love being, which Jake liked being out in the wilderness too, but, they love hunting. They like, you see they go over to, countries like, not countries, continent like Africa, and, hunt lions, just for the hell of it. They won't even eat it. Just pretty much just for the thrill of it. But even like Gad, the so-called Native American Indian, even like Gad, they would, when they would hunt their food, they used every bit of the animal. It was considered a sacred thing. There was a way in which you went about it. But we see that Esau is a wild, profane individual. He just,
kill for fun.
Yeah, like the example with when Cristobal Colon and the conquistadors came over here, and the mass slaughter of the buffaloes. They a lot of them pretty much just to get rid of Gad having the ability to eat, because that food would eventually go bad.
That's right. So this man, he's a hunter, but he's a predator. He's a predator when it comes to, wildlife. Verse 27. And a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So Jacob probably more than likely had the ability to hunt, but he was just a plain man. He hunt and get his provisions and go and chill.
Hard as hell.
Yeah, probably.
Satan, the whole ass nigga.
Back to it though, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents, and that word "plain" literally means mild. He was a mild man. Okay, and that's Jake. Jake likes to chill. Jake likes to just, get our daily bread, go home, have a little drink, and kick it. Versus being in the field and being, and trying to conquer nature. Esau even has an infatuation with trying to conquer nature. And you see these attributes in his forefather.
Yeah, like you got that one dude, Wiley Coyote.
Yeah.
Peterson or some shit. He going out getting letting the bullet in, bite him and shit just to see how it feels. Like he's infatuated with nature, like completely
Remember crocodile? Homeboy got killed by the electric eel.
Yeah.
He used to just jump on crocodiles, pet them and shit. Put his hand in the water like, oh my fucking,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, bugged out.
Tripping. The most I took him out by an electric eel.
Yeah, you see Jake get around and see a bee or a wasp,
Yeah.
take off running.
We gonna reference, the most high stretch like, man, we see a dog loose, we be like, shoot, what dog is this? Esau was trying to talk to the dog, man. You know? Yeah, so this dude he's a very wild man. You know? Very, very carnal. That means he's an attribute of being carnal is being animalistic. You know, he thrives off of conquering the flesh versus being in the spirit. When we seeing these attributes as we read in Genesis 25th chapter, verse 29, check this out. And Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me?
So he essentially Esau gave it up, man. And that's Jacob, Yaquab, supplanter. He supplanted Jacob, Jacob, Yaquab supplanted Esau for the birthright. But you see how quick Esau was willing to give it up. He couldn't just handle the state of being in hunger, stomach grumbling and shit. He couldn't just deal with it. He had to eat, man. Right. To the point of where he was even at the point to give up his own birthright. He said, "The hell with that birthright. Yeah. What's that gonna do for me right now?" Mm-hmm. Like that J.G. Wentworth commercial. It's my money and I need it now.
Yeah.
That's the spirit of Esau, man.
That's right. Very impulsive. That word impulsive, I just simply googled it. It means to act, or acting or done without forethought.
Rational.
Yeah.
He didn't consider the latter end.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's I just put down to the etymology. It says, in the sense, tending to impel, driven onwards. So he's driven by what? That flesh, and want to, feed that flesh, feed that impulse, and that ideology of, feeding your flesh has really manifested into what you see before you. That great dragon that's spoken about in Daniel the 7th chapter, right? That infrastructure, how the people are, governed. It's all really essentially based off of a spirit of impulse, of uplifting the spirit of impulse, man. Do what thy will, obey your thirst, But women, forget the forethought of, wanting to marry and settle down. Play the field. Have a good time. See the girls we up. Man, smash as many, females as you like. Hot girl summer. Hell, if you feel like being a woman and you're a man, do it. Just chop your penis off, man. Do it.
And the women, of today's society too, they'll perpetually keep a woman if a woman comes with a good, modest, a lowly mindset of just wanting a husband, just wanting to raise a family and have kids and just be a stay-at-home mom and a housewife and hold it down that way, how really nature intended it to be, right? The women of today will tell her, girl, you want to be a slave? You want to be a servant? I'm not his mama. But, that's really the role of the woman, is to be a nurturer. But these women are hard as fuck, man. These women are fucking rough, roughnecks, yeah. Contentious. Yep. Just confrontational, just totally unpleasant to deal with.
Yep.
And that's why you see a lot of our, brothers, a lot of men, saying, fuck that shit. I ain't settling down. I'm doing my own thing.
Yep. Commercially, you got men out here, they weak-minded. Look at the man. You know what I'm saying? We had the luxury of being around nothing but brothers. So, you know, we don't really get around Jake a lot, but when we see Jake, like in the corner store or even just, you know, on social media, things of that nature, man, these guys are bugged out that damn mind, man. These niggas matching lingerie with the shoes, man. I'm talking about bugged out, bro. Very feminine. You know? Very feminine. Well, you can blame that on who? Esau Edom, man. I got a quick one. Sirach 10 and 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So what do we see ruling now? What do we see ruling? Esau Edom. And Esau Edom, as we've been going into the word in Posa, you know, no forethought of community, no forethought of, you know, how he's ruling this world, no forethought on the importance of sex, you know, the importance of family, you know, but a destruction of it for so he can capitalize off of it. What do we see? We see the destruction of the people, man. These people are in a very dilapidated state.
And yeah, cuz, what? And you hear the rhetoric in which people talk about today in terms of talking about the talking point of sex. It's looked at as just this nonchalant thing, but when you really look at sex between a man and a woman, that's the most intimate thing that can go on between a man and a woman. Sex is really spiritual, bro. That's like the beginning step to creating a life. And bro, people don't consider how much grave importance that has on you.
That's right.
You know, particularly for the women, because as a man, we can lay with multiple different women. Not saying it's totally convenient for every brother in this time period, but you know, the point being is, especially with the women, they're out here fucking around. And I believe there's a stat that goes, once a woman has 6 bodies, the rate of divorce and the likelihood that the marriage will succeed goes up tremendously. If a woman has less than 3, the rates of a marriage to have success goes up tremendously. You see? So there's a very fine line for a woman to have really a woman's supposed to be with one man her whole life. You know? That's why the term widow exists, because if that man was to pass away, then she would be a widow. Now there's different ins and outs that go into that, you know, but essentially a woman's supposed to be with one man her whole life. That's not what's pushed in society. And that's one of the indicators that the society is on its way out, because sex is just the forefront of everything.
Go ahead.
Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness.
That's right. And Esau Edom has used Western civilization in his dominance of the world, which is a term called hegemony, to put the people in a drunken state. And that drunken state has led to the destruction of society, of family nucleus, as we've been describing. Okay? This is a part of that sword that Esau Edom was blessed with. Okay? Wet his tongue as was it Psalm 64? Wet his tongue as a sword. I believe it's Psalm 64. Y'all can all look it up. Pretty sure. Started 2.
Yeah. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 2. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
That's right. This is what we're praying for. And this is low-key what we got. You know? We're asking for the wisdom of Yahweh by Shah, so we can understand how to maneuver through this world. Right? Now we understand that, how detrimental feminism has been to the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American race, to the true nation of Israel. Now we understand the importance of the father in the household. You see that? All these things were set in place to really keep you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans at a dilapidated state, will it be socially speaking, economically speaking, and spiritually speaking. Okay? So we're asking the Most High to hide us from the wicked counsel, the evil counsel of the wicked, man, the secret counsel. Because Esau even had these hidden agendas, but he painted as if it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? Something so state of the art, positive, innovative, right? Progressive,
Game changer.
right? And all these things are really for the further encapsulation or subjugation of the people. Case in point, the alphabet community, right? Soon, you're not going to be able to pick your children's sex, or nature. They are going to. This is why they're pushing this on your children. Okay? This is why having a standard is so important.
That's right.
Okay? But 2/3 of our people, they don't see that. So they're going to be swallowed up in it.
Back in Psalm 64:3, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
That's right. They sharpen their tongue as the sword. Now, we just read in Genesis the 25th chapter that Esau Edom gave up his birthright. Now, when you read in the 28th chapter, Esau Edom received a blessing. What was that blessing? I'm going to go to Genesis 28. 27? Okay, 27. Slucky. I just hold it too. Now this is the East. Genesis 27 and 34. And when Esau heard the word of his father, he cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me, also my father. And he said, thy brother came with fertility and had taken away the blessing. Because what happened was Jacob dressed himself up as if he was Esau Edom. Came in and received the blessing from Isaac. And that blessing was the fatness of the earth, was rulership, was really what you were supposed to get as the first son, or the first child that was born, male child that was born. Okay, but if you remember, Esau Edom sold his birthright, so it was all spiritual that it happened. Because the reason I was spiritual because Sarah heard that Isaac was going to bless Esau, so she, Jacob went and told Jacob what was going on, told him the plan, and he ended up getting a blessing. He supplanted. That's Jake's name. Jacob, loosely paraphrased, is supplanter, right? And Jake is known to be a hustler. The so-called Negro Latino Native American is a hustler. Issachar be hustling down here. Bro, Issachar be hustling. Issachar have a job, have a construction company on the side, sell things on the side, bro. Issachar is constantly thinking about ways to make dough. Constantly. That's that Yank part of man. And other nations. Other tribes. Right? Really, I wasn't going off by saying it because tribe thing, but I digress. Look at Jake. Look at Judah. Judah is really taking over YouTube, man. The content creators, the ones that are popular, they're all Judah, especially in the manosphere. I can't really name one a so-called white white male that's like a dominant figure when it comes to the manosphere. Think about that. Can you?
Rolo Tomasi comes to mind. He's not like that.
Right.
He's not out there like that.
Right. I'm talking about the top content creators of who? It's all Jake. You know? Why is that? Because Jake is known as a hustler. Right? Business oriented. Okay? About putting himself in an advantageous state. Okay? Back to it. Verse 36. And he said, it's not his, Genesis 27 and 36. And he said, it's not he rightly named Jacob, for he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing.
And that's if I may, one that shows no accountability.
Yeah.
Just like today, they tell us to get over the chattel slavery they did to our forefathers and foremothers. Right? They tell us to move on, but 9/11, that's not the case. Right? With September 11, 2001, they still hold that dear to their heart. Every year it comes around. Posting about it on social media. You know what I'm saying? It's in the news. They dropping documentaries and shit. Like, come on, man. How many times can you talk about the same shit? You know? And that was one day. I think it was actually 3 buildings. They had the World Trade Center 7, which was a shorter building that nobody really talks about.
Right.
And the 2 twin towers, they call them. But, I lost my train of thought. But essentially, that's right. Essentially, they talk about that, but they don't talk about the atrocities and the things. We're supposed to just let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? That shows a lack of accountability, because even right there, he said he took my blessing. You gave it away.
Yeah.
He didn't take shit from you. You said it. You gave it up.
Right.
You know, it's a lack of accountability with these devils too.
That's right. That's right.
That's like they made me think of the lesson Apostle Ricard did. I think it was Friday. You know, with the brothers in Houston, going into how Esau is really, a woman. You know, because women have lack of accountability too.
Right.
It's a feminine trait. You know what I'm saying?
Because when you're carnal, you're driven by your emotions. Esau is very emotional, right? That's why he's so quick to defame somebody or lie on somebody. All right? Back to it. He says, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine and have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
He was crying for him, man, begging, pleading. Please, Father, please. What about me? What about me?
And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword thou shalt live.
And I believe, Saquon, you go into that word fatness. I forget the Hebrew word, but I want to say it's going into like resources, like oil and stuff like that. You know, which when you look at what's going on today, Esau has the fatness of the earth and dew of heaven, because during Rome, which was also Edomites, right? Edom, that's why it was called Edom Rome. They had a portion of the earth, right? But it had to pretty much culminate to what we see today, to Esau having his birthright in full, or that blessing in full. But as going back to the second Ezra 6 and 9, Esau is the end of the world, right? He has his blessing in fullness, and Jacob is the beginning of it to follow.
That's right. Because Esau, Edom, with that military-industrial complex, he capitalizes off on warfare. So various proxy wars, civil wars. He has his hands in selling. Selling weapons. Case in point to Saudi Arabia has made Esau Edom substantially rich. Okay, that's another indicator of who Esau Edom is. So that sword again, and embodies many things. Because in order for you to go to war, you have to have a reason. In order for you to win that war, you have to have weaponry, manpower, certain pacts with various countries. In order for you to be able to invade a particular country, this is what you see going on with the whole NATO situation, right? With Ukraine becoming a part of NATO, that's a military, basically a good military. What a word I'm looking for. Not destination, but it's a good way for you to be able to enter into another country, right? It's a good stance, if you will, for them to be able to conquer Russia. Esau Edom has been doing this, making these pacts and things like that for years, right? Been selling these various nations dreams, man. All this, why we bring this up? All this encompasses that sword, man. By that sword thou shalt live. Okay? So understanding the nature of Esau Edom, we can conclude that in the latter days, bad times are coming on the population. Why is that? Because he's going to utilize his blessing to push his agenda. Okay?
What's beautiful too is that you see a lot of these nations now, making restrictions. They're breaking pacts. They're like, hey, we're not going to do that with you no more. We're going to lessen the amount of oil. We're going to, put restrictions and things like that. Things are tightening up.
Yep.
You see different, like the BRICS nation coming, trying to come with their own currency.
Right.
All that, causing, because it was once that all these nations just answered to America, and those that didn't, they were just, pretty much would be confounded, whether it be by Esau coming in with his military might, or, that's the whole premise for, the wars that took place in the early 2000s, and even in the 2010s with Iraq and Afghanistan and so on and so forth. You see Esau just totally went in and just destroyed shit.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah, fuck shit up.
That's right.
It's like, I was just gonna say, you see the buildings and stuff, you look at the infrastructure, a lot of it it's a third world country now.
Dilapidated. The other nations, like the brother beautiful put out, the other nations have seen, the death that Esau Edom has, created, and they're getting tired of it. This is going to lead to World War III. I got something for you. Jeremiah 51:8. Behold, Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon has been a gold cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken all her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Behold, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed half for her. Take bond for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. So the other nations have taken on certain pacts with Babylon the Great, and have seen, now they're starting to see the wickedness that Esau Edom produces when you get into these pacts. Yet Esau Edom and the other nations have benefited off of each other's contracts, man. There's a term called interdependent relationships. This is what you see going on with China and America. China can't just pull the plug on the American dollar. because the American dollar is still substantially strong, and also America is the #1 importer of goods. China is the #1 exporter of goods, man. Right? So these other nations, when they see America being destroyed, a lot of these nations, you know, a lot of these nations, they're gonna lament. They actually talk about that in Revelations also with the 18th chapter. Okay? But the Most High is putting spirit on these other nations to come up against this place. Go ahead,
Revelation 18 and 15. It says, the merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing.
That's right. Weeping and wailing, man. Right? Why is that? Because America has helped a lot of these countries become from a developing country to a developed country. And with that understanding that the blueprint that America has given these other nations, they're going to start to venture off and do their own thing, man. Then you have other countries that America has had pacts with, that's, it's been very, as of lately, that relationship that they have between America and themselves has been very detrimental. Case in point, you had the president of French, what's his name, Macron? I hope I'm saying that right. He said, what did he say? He said that we need to get away from Lucy, get away from the grips of America, right? And come up, and us European countries come up with our own currency, right? Because America has utilized the American dollar as a weapon. Say, for instance, you don't agree with certain, legislation that's being passed or pacts, then he'll put a section on it, man. Mess up your whole economy. The other nations are getting tired of that, man. So you see them making steps to get away from the clinch of the American dollar. This is going to lead to what? World War III. All right? You got something?
Revelation 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come. In the time of the dead that they should be judged, going to the heathen, 2/3 of our people. It says, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Woo. That's Esau's end, man. Because he's ultimately the cancer of the earth. He's the one you could blame him, majorly speaking, for the pollution. You could blame him for like the Quran read in Jeremiah 51:6. Babylon had been a golden cup in the hand of the Lord. That golden cup is filled with wine, which represents the philosophies and the doctrines in which he pushes on the people, on the nations, and on our people. That has the people in that drunken mindset, as we read in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. You see? So the Lord is going to essentially destroy them, which destroyed the earth. But it says that the nations were angry because Babylon, America, has been this bully, essentially, this powerhouse that pretty much runs the world, but everybody else wants next. All the heathen nations want next. Putin wants next, right? Hey, but as the saying goes, we got next.
That's right.
That's why I say it goes into that should get reward unto your servants, the prophets and the saints, man. Those that believe on Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, those that whom his blood will cover.
Got anything else? Revelation 17 and 16.
Oh, okay, yeah. Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
That's right. So these 10 horns you see on that beast, those 10 horns are nations. And these nations are going to start hating the whore. Now you're starting to see French buck up. You could see Germany buck up also. You got to think, these European nations, they get a substantial amount of their gas from where Russia. Now all of these, a lot of these European countries agreed not to buy the oil from Russia at a given time. I think now they got a cap on it, so it's like on $60 per barrel. Now here recently we seen Ammon, aka Japan, go ahead and buy this oil at regular price. Okay, but these European countries not buying Russian oil, man, that's hurting their economy. All because of what? All because of the pact that they have with the Great War. That Great War that spoke about in Revelation is America. So, as you know, these economies become more and more strained. You're going to see more of these nations making pacts to get away again from the dominance of the U.S. This is going to cause war. Why is that? Because Esau, Edom, Babylon the Great has ruled with the sword. So there's going to be an implosion on itself. The other European nations, which are Edomites, are going to be fighting against each other. Right? Egyptian against Egyptian. Okay? So the Most High is stirring up the other nations to call themselves strong. What's that in Joel? The third chapter?
Yes, I had something. Go ahead, bro. Mark 3 and 24. I'll start at 23. And he called unto him, and he called them unto him, and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And that's essentially what you read in Daniel, the 2nd chapter, going into the 10 toes, right? Miry mixed with clay, right? It talks about how they will not be, pretty much will be divided. They can't stay together, So these nations came together, making pacts and things, but it's essentially on its way out now. We saw the climax of America at her pinnacle, at her peak. That's why the whole slogan for Trump was what? Make America great again. Because that greatness is now on a decline. That's right. That's prophecy. It's all prophecy. It's all according to the Holy Bible, man. The word of the Heavenly Father. That's right. That's right. You wanted to make it happen. Joel 3. Oh, did you want me to finish this? Yeah, you can finish that. Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, ye shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. How they gonna burn her with fire? Thermonuclear destruction. This place, Babylon the Great, is going to go down with thermonuclear destruction. That's right. Okay? It will not be inhabited by anyone. We'll talk about that in Isaiah, the 13th chapter. Can you grab it? Okay? So this is why we're out here. We're out here to warn the people, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, true nation of Israel, of the bad times that's coming to this place, the ultimate destruction that's coming to this place, which is that thermonuclear destruction. Most of our people, they don't want to hear it. They're walking up and down the street and everything's fine and happy and go lucky, So the day of the Lord is going to catch these people as a thief in the night. Okay? Isaiah chapter 13, verse 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So utter destruction. With what? With fire. This is how we know this is not talking about ancient Babylon. So you have to be able to discern when it's talking about ancient Babylon and the new Babylon, Neo Babylon that's spoken about in Revelation. The two different entities. Okay? Go ahead. Isaiah 13 and 20. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it dwell in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. Right, so it's going to be ultimate destruction. It's going to be ultimate destruction on this place where nobody is going to dwell here, man.
This place is going to be inhabited by dolphin creatures. It talks about that. You're gonna read.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, that's not good.
Yep. Isaiah 13:21, it says, "But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces."
So this place is going to be a place for basically night creatures, man. Right? This is going to be a monument of how not to rule a nation and also the world, man. The Most High is going to utterly destroy this place by what? Thermonuclear destruction. Okay? Hey, Esau Edom has lived by the sword, therefore he's going to die by the sword. Yeah, go ahead.
Revelation 13 and 10. I'll start at verse 9. "If any man have an ear, let him hear." And we all have physical ears, but this is talking about a spiritual ear. It says, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints." Right, the patience, this is what we're patiently awaiting on, man. For our enemy to be cast down. As it says in Baruch, the 4th chapter and the 25th verse, you know, we've suffered persecution for our enemy, but hey, we will suffer it patiently, because in a moment's notice, right, what day to day can seem like an eternity, but it's coming relatively quickly. We're gonna have our foot upon his neck, man. Thus saith the Holy Bible, man. Even Yahweh Shai said in Revelation 2, man, "To him that overcometh will I give power over the nations. We shall rule them with a rod of iron." That's right. This is what the faithful saints are looking forward to, man. That's right. Righteousness and dominion of the kingdom of righteousness, to meet our Lord once and for all, and the final ending, man. Right? That's right. The new heavens and the new earth, where indwells righteousness, man. That's right.
Rulership,
man.
You know, this is why we out here doing this ultimately. We have a hidden agenda. And that hidden agenda is for us to receive salvation. And also with salvation, part of salvation is deliverance from this place being utterly destroyed. Okay? What's that talk about? It says, "Come out of her, my people." Yeah, get that. Revelation 18. You was just in there. Deliverance. Right. That's the deliverance that we're waiting on. Okay?
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 18. Oh, man. It goes exactly into what we've been talking about. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 1. "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird."
And this is what you see going on here. Very foul, a very perverse spirit is being made manifest, or really always been here in Babylon the Great, aka America, with its inception. Look how it's treated the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans with pure hatred, oppression, right? Lewdness. Now the children aren't safe. Okay? I don't want to go too hard with these kids.
Yeah, I feel
It's, some respect.
Babylon the Great is fallen. That's talking about the end of this current society, America. Babylon the Great, right?
That's right.
Verse 3, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication."
They go that wine again, right? The wine of the wrath of her fornication, man. Meaning, basically, fornication to mean idol worship, adultery. So all these other nations have taken on these philosophies, and guess what? The other nations are mad. They're tired of not only the way America conducts itself, but the fact that it has the audacity to perpetuate that death culture on the world. Look what's going on in Africa, Uganda. They say, look, we don't want to push the alphabet agenda. Matter of fact, if you were alphabet here, you're gonna get locked up. Yep.
But they talk about putting them to death.
They put them to death. Okay, that's even better.
Even better.
You know what I'm saying? You know? I said, hey, don't blame us. That's what the scriptures say. Okay? Because what did that produce? All manners of confusion and also disease, right? Mental illnesses. That should not be in a productive, in a spiritual nation. But that's perpetuated. Okay? Go ahead.
Back in Revelation 18:3, for all nations were drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
That's right. All the nations have been drunk with the wrath of her fornication. Drunk with the Western culture. Okay? And these other nations, they're getting tired of the pervasiveness of Western culture. They're getting tired of Esau Edom dictating, the so-called white man dictating what's right and what's wrong within their given nation. So they're going to say, you know what, the hell with you. We're going to rise up against you.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah, one day you just get tired of that bully, man.
Yeah, you get tired.
You ever been bullied, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Big ass bully always fucking with you all year. And one day you just snap.
Yep.
You had enough.
Boop, boop, boop. Mm-hmm. You know? Then when you stand up to him, you realize, man, this guy, he ain't nothing but words.
Well, that's Isaiah 14. Is this the man?
This the man? Yeah. This, oh, man. You know? Yeah. Smoke and mirrors. You know? Okay.
Back in the middle of Revelation 18:3, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
That's right. So we are looking to be delivered. Delivered from this wickedness. Delivered from this destruction that's said to happen on the face of the earth. Right? Chiefly here in Babylon. This place is going to be utterly destroyed. Right. Desolated, you know, uninhabited, and rightfully so, because this place is bloody. Starting with the blood of the nation of Israel, you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. A lot of bloodshed was done here for this place to be created. They say that the so-called Native Americans, 98% were decimated. 98, let that marinate.
Tens of millions.
Now the remnant of these various people, they're living on reservations in squalor. And Esau Edom, not only does he tell Jake to get over it, Judah to get over it, he tells the natives, hey, get over it. Stop being drunkards. You know, stop being drunkards. You know, but hey, they under the curses, murder rate high. They out there banging. They out there, you know, committing crimes, things of that nature. Dilapidated people, right? Esau, you tell man, get over it and pull yourself up by the bootstraps. But hey, this same person, if his cartoon character is changed to from a so-called white person to a so-called black person, this nigga's up in arms. Let them change Superman to a black man, so-called black man. Yeah. They'll be ready to kill somebody. There was protests over the little mermaid being black.
So mad as hell with that.
I'm just tired of this woke stuff. So Esau Edom, like you said earlier, you said that this resonated. Esau Edom doesn't have any accountability. Like what their mom said, like a female. Very emotional and unstable creature. Esau either.
It's wine that's causing our people to now we're the heathen.
Yeah.
You know, really in spirit, we're the chosen people. Really, we are the chosen people. We're of that seed line, man. That the promises and the covenants and the giving of the law and everything was passed down to.
That's right.
But we lost that through this man and his deception, being the devil that the Bible speaks of. So now, like you said, Zaquan, it's really the curses that are cleaving unto us that keeps us in this state as a majority. Because there are some of our people that make it up in this world, and they might thrive and have businesses and celebrities or whatever the case may be. But we're talking about as a nation of people, we're at the very bottom of the totem pole.
That's right. That's right. Totally levitate.
Yes.
That's a whole nigga. That's an issue, right, too.
Yeah, that's saying that vibration is pushed on our people. They be the ones in the commercials.
Yeah, that X, they be the ones, bro. Esau has used Jacob as a pawn for his wickedness.
Jumping back to Revelation 18:5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. You know, as the scripture says, what is it, Ecclesiastes 3:15, the Most High requires that which is past.
Right.
You see, so you try to, what we were speaking on earlier, you try to say, just get over it, but the Most High ain't got over it. There's still a recompense that has to come for that. Right. That's
You said so. This spark this in me. Now this is Psalms 7, and let's see here. I want to get straight to the point. Verse 6. I'll start verse 6. Psalms 73 and 6. Therefore pride compasses them about as a chain, bondage covered them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness, that have more than heart to wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily.
So wow, man. Let's talk about Esau, man. That's his MO. That's how he gets down. You know, like we've been saying, get over slavery, man. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. But he doesn't understand the spiritual implications of the curses in Deuteronomy 28. When we bring out the Deuteronomy 28, he'll tell us that don't apply to us because we're not the chosen people. That's his MO. That's how he goes about it. But we're at that point when you read Deuteronomy the 30th chapter, and now these curses are being put onto our enemies, man. Which our enemies are the heathen nations, starting with Esau. You read about that in Psalms the 83rd chapter. Jump back to Revelation 18:6. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you.
Right.
And double unto her, double according to her works.
So Babylon the Great, aka America, is going to receive double for all this wickedness it's done on the planet Earth. Okay? This is why we out here telling you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans to repent. Turn back to the Heavenly Father so you can receive that salvation. Because that's what it's all about, receiving that covering before the day of the Lord. But we know that a significant amount of our people, 2/3 of our people, are going to be destroyed by the Heavenly Father. Okay? Whoever has ears to hear, let them hear. And only the elect are going to hear.
Yeah, Yahweh said it. My sheep hear my voice in John the 10th chapter. That's right. They know me, and I know them. The Father knows them, and they'll come unto me. That's right. But those that are not of that household of faith, those are castaways. Those are going to be burned up in this land as well. That's right. I got some. Romans 13:11. And then knowing the time, you know where we're at in terms of prophecy. We understand we're in as they say, we're in the book of Revelation. The veil is being pulled back. We're able to see who our enemies are. We're able to see, how we ought to be. What manner of persons we have to be.
Yep.
In all holy conversation and godliness, we see what's required of us, right? So that knowing the time, then now it is high time to awake out of sleep. It doesn't say, it doesn't say wait, wait till you're ready. As they say in the world, there's no perfect. You'll never. If you're waiting on a perfect time, you'll be waiting forever. The time to act is now, right? Because our actions dictate our future. Woo! Your actions, today will dictate essentially where you're going to end up. I saw something that was saying, be mindful of your words because your words will turn into your behaviors. Be mindful of your behaviors because your behaviors will turn into your destiny. So what we do on a day-to-day is essentially leading us either to salvation or to fall out and be burnt up with the rest of our people. Destruction. I got something for you. A little more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's all good. Romans 13:11, I'll finish it up. And then knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we have believed. That was the point. That's right. I got something for you.
2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
Right, and those heavens is going into the rulerships, these current domiciles, these current kingdoms that are upon the face of the earth. Because you even read in Revelation, the 19th chapter and the 11th verse, it tells you when Yahushua comes back in righteousness, he's going to judge and make war, and he's going to have many crowns upon his head. That's symbolic for him taking out these different kingdoms and establishing the kingdom to come, which is the kingdom of heaven.
See then that all these things shall be dissolved.
Right, everything in front of us, it's on its way out the door, man. It's all temporary, you see?
That's right. What manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
See, that goes back to what you said earlier. The standard. There's a standard that's required of you. There was a standard in the Levitical priesthood. There was a standard on how the high priest was to offer up the sacrifice, man. There's always been a standard when dealing with the Heavenly Father, man. And that's no different today. As we're coming into a part of the spiritual house, the spiritual temple, right? Yahushua being the chief cornerstone.
I just wanted to say real quickly that word conversation goes into anastrophe, which means your conduct, right? Verse 12, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Lord, of the Most High, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So we know that the destruction is about to happen, right? How should we conduct ourselves? That's what Peter is saying. You know the Lord's coming back. What do you need to be doing? Right? You need to be serving Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. You need to be, be doers of the words and not hearers only. You know what I'm saying? This is why we come out here on the highways and byways and make ourselves a living sacrifice for the benefit of the body and also for our benefit, to make sure that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Because as we're preaching to you, we're preaching unto ourselves. We can't tell you guys not to commit adultery, and we're out here committing adultery. We can't tell you guys not to be slothful, or we're being slothful. We can't tell you guys not to eat pork. We're out here eating dang on pork and shrimp. No. Those are the very elementary things. Now, we get to the walk where it's becoming more technical. When to say something, when not to say something, right? When to rebuke, when to withhold from rebuking. You know what I'm saying? When to speak your mind, when not to speak your mind. All timing. Hey, that's when you really start getting good in boxing, when your timing is on point. When you can spot, okay, let's open it. Boom. Most High perfecting us. See, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is a foretaste of the second covenant, which the second covenant is the law, says, and commands being endowed in us. We're learning how to judge, Akim. Okay? This is a beautiful thing.
Yes. Absolutely. I got something.
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No. Call too long. Sirach 20 and 30. It says, wisdom that is hid and treasure that is hoarded up, what profit is in them both? Right, so, I think about, what was her name, Queen Elizabeth, that queen that recently passed. She had a whole, they probably still have that whole basement full of just gold bars, man. What profit is it in that? In the kingdom, it's going to be streets paid to gold. Right. Like even during the time of King Solomon, they had just silver laying around on the ground. But the wisdom, the real treasures is essentially this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, in which the prophets are back on the scene today to relay unto the masses. Many will scoff. Many will, as the scripture says, in the latter days, that people will become scoffers. Yeah. People walking after their own lusts, coming against the truth. But hey, am I therefore your enemy because I tell you the truth? Right. All we can do on this side is just tell the people the truth, relay to them the message of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, tell them what's going to go on, or what's going on, and what's going to happen prophetically, right? And then what they can do to, try to avoid that judgment. Because even us, even brothers in GMS, we're not exempt from these things, man. Right. That's right. We gotta too work out our own salvation with all fear and trembling, man.
That's right. We're trying to get that salvation, We gotta be, we gotta, even more so somebody in the world, man, Now watch your step, you know what I'm saying? This is why it's so good to make sure that you, toiling in this truth. Because if you always in these scriptures, it's hard to go off when you're in these scriptures all the time. You know what I mean? It's hard, because you're constantly you're constantly reading, you're constantly, things of that nature. Got something, brother?
Okay, done. So, hey, Lord willing, this was edifying into the flock of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. In closing, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Double honors yet again to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the taught us the truth, as well. Much peace, love, blessings, and many salutations to the elect brothers scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.
Shalom, brothers. Shalom, supporting.